Yolan True and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy. And today I want to talk about the D3 class ships. You might have seen my faction ship video already, and now I'm gonna do some single videos on those faction ships, and one of them is the D3 class. Looks quite nice. It's Klingon, you can see that already when you look at it, and it is an uncommon 3-star ship. You need to be level 26 with your shipyard to get this, and with faction reputation you need to be favored. That's just 100,000 faction points. The D3 class is an interceptor, and it has a certain ability like they all have, and in this case the D3 class's weapon damage is increased by 30% against Romulan ships. So this one is a good Romulan hunter. Makes sense because the arch enemies, as I always call them, of the Klingons, where you get the most reputation, are the Romulans. So the D3 is a very good ship for it. And it also can have a cloaking device, which is really important in this game for certain situations. And it can have an ability as well, not only the ship cloaking, but also the relentless assault, that increases weapon damage against hostiles and armadas by 250% if you activate it. But that's a topic for another video, how to do this. But the D3 can have it. And as I said, it is not an explorer, it's an interceptor. So also the D3 would work with a good interceptor PvP crew. And if you are on a server that's quite new, that might be ships or the ship class that's around everywhere with the Mayflower and the Legionary. And so the D3 would have some advantage there if you have a good PvP crew for interceptors. And there's one thing, except that you need 80 blueprints, as you can see at the bottom, and you can get them by the faction store. But there's also another thing. Don't upgrade that ship too far early in the game. You will need to max it later, but not when you have it and you don't have the following ships like the Bortas and so on. Don't max this. Go to level, let's say tier 5 or a level 25 or something, and leave it at that. And then go try to get the next ship already. Don't use all the resources to max this one. You will need those resources later. And especially that early in the game, it's hard to get them. And of course, you can get the blueprints in the faction store, as I already said. And you can also get blueprints in the away team store, like with other blueprints as well. So there are certain ways to do this, and 80 is not that bad. So many of you will have this quite early, but really don't max it at that point. Later, when you're far later in the game, when you're on the level of the Katinger, the Kelvin, in this case you will need it for the Kelvin, or the Valdor, then max your D3. And just for one purpose, to scrap it. Because if you scrap a maxed D3, you get a lot of useful 4-star, first of all, ship parts, but also materials that you need to upgrade your Kelvin. In this case, the Kelvin is the 4-star interceptor, and so the D3 as an interceptor, when you scrap it, would help for the Kelvin. And that's an important thing. It's the same with the Mayflower and the Legionary. Don't max them now, but max them later to scrap them. So keep that in mind. Don't scrap them early. Keep them for later. And that was just supposed to be a quick introduction. My English is leaving me now. I'm talking too much about faction ships at the moment. I guess introducing ships is not that easy, but who knows. I'm already glad that the game keeps up, because at the moment it's crashing so much on iOS that I often have to switch over to my PC, but I can't film the game that easily on the PC as I can do it on the iOS version here. That's why you always see the iOS version on screen. That I'm happy that it's still holding. So keep your fingers crossed that I can film my videos today without crashing. But at the moment, it's working. But as I said, it was just supposed to be an introduction into the D3 class. And as you already know from me, the videos are only as long as necessary and as short as possible. But if you want to know something about other ships, crews, buildings, whatever, the next video is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.